Okay. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome to Yoga Basics for Beginners. So in this class, you're going to learn how to do all of the really integral basic things you need in order to start a yoga practice. So this is for those people who are like, I'm not flexible, I've never done yoga, I don't know anything about yoga, or have walked into a class, a level 1 class, and were overwhelmed. Okay, so you're going to find just a comfortable position where you're sitting, so you can sit on like a pillow like this, a block. If you have blocks, you can sit on your bed, in a chair, or prop yourself up against the wall. So anything that works for you, you just want to find a nice seated position. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about and just jump right into is breathing. So as I'm sure you know, the most important thing in yoga is breathing in stillness. The word for yoga posture is asana, and that means breathing in stillness, literally. So that's what we're looking for. So breathing, there's two types of breathing in yoga. The first one's called pranayama. Pranayama comes from the word prana and ayama. Prana is life energy. So similar to breath, but not the same as breath. And ayama just means your capacity to hold. So when we do this pranayama, it's a breathing exercise designed to strengthen and condition your lungs, as well as increase your vitality, increase the amount of energy in your body. Yeah. So the second form of breathing in yoga that we perform is called ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath means ocean breath or victorious breath. And this is the way that you breathe through yoga class. So aside from pranayama, pranayama is an exercise that's done specifically at the beginning, in the middle, or it's an exercise, right? Ujjayi breath is just the way you breathe during class. So we're going to practice that a little bit. Let me tell you how ujjayi is performed. In and out through the nose. And we're going to bring our awareness to the throat. So there's going to be there's a valve in the throat, right? And on the inhale, you'll constrict the valve, so it sounds like a snore. And on the exhale, you'll relax, you'll open the valve, so it also sounds similar to the ocean wave, like the ebb and flow of the tide. Professor, come here. The ebb and flow of the tide. Come on, come on, come on. Come here, let's get you to be quiet. All right, so the ebb and flow of the tide in your own ears, all right? So remember to keep your vocal cords relaxed as you go through this. Let's practice. So just breathe in through your nose normal. And breathe out through your nose normal. Okay, so what we tend to do with this is focus on like the nose, right? So then we end up... and we are worried about the boogers that are in there and all the congestion and stuff like that. So that's not how yoga breath is performed. We use the throat. So don't worry about the nose at all. Think about your throat. Remember, it's ocean breath, so ebb and flow of the tide. Right? So as we inhale, it's like a snore. A little word of caution to keep your vocal cords relaxed. So we're not... right? We're not going to use our vocal cords for that. It'll end up overusing, abusing them, and blowing them out if we do that, right? So some teachers will tell you to do that. I will tell you to never listen to them unless it's a pranayama. Yeah, because pranayamas are not performed all through yoga. They're performed at certain points for a purpose. So we're going to do 2 minutes of ujjayi breathing. So remember, find any position that's comfortable. I'm going to get the timer out. All right. So remember, on the inhale, constriction. On the exhale, relaxation. The sound, so the throat on the exhale, like if you were going like fogging a mirror, you relax your throat. It's that movement of the throat, that relaxation. And you know how that sound makes like a H-A-ha sound? You're looking for that in your own ears so that they sound both kind of snory or like water in your own ears, but just different quality, like I said, the ebb and flow of the tide. So again, remember, constriction on the inhale, relaxation on the exhale. So we'll begin by just taking a regular breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and begin. Inhale, exhale, lungs empty. Inhale, feel the constriction of the throat as you fill your lungs up, belly slightly in. Exhale, feel the relaxation of the throat. It's like filling your mouth with air almost. And we'll continue this. You can close your eyes if you like, just about a minute and a half here. And really listen to your own self dragging the air in and out through the throat. See if you can get that constriction happening. Trying to make the breath as long as possible, ideally 5 or 6 counts in, 5 or 6 counts out. And you can even count in your head, that's fine. It's a form of meditation. "30 more seconds. Notice how the breath trails off when you're full, and how the breath trails off when you're empty. One more breath in, and a deep exhale. All right, so that's Ujjayi breath. Now we're going to get into pranayama. Do you have any questions about Ujjayi? No?
I'm good so far.
What's that?
Sorry, I was on mute. I think I'm okay so far.
Okay, cool, great. So we're gonna cover pranayama now. Pranayama is a way to build energy in the body, prepare you for class. It's another way to build oxygen in the blood, which also prepares your body for class, right? So really rich, oxygen-rich, nutrient-dense blood flowing to our muscles and our connective tissue, keeping us nice and nourished through our practice. Now the pranayama we're going to do today is called alternate nostril breathing. Now alternate nostril breathing is a form of lung conditioning, so it can feel challenging at first, but don't feel discouraged, right? It gets easier over time. Now as we go through this, pranayama also is described, like it's defined as like a breath holding technique or something of that sort. So there are holds involved, but not necessarily. For example, alternate nostril breathing, block your right nostril and inhale left. Try to get it to be like that Ujjayi, and exhale right. Don't worry about the stuffiness or boogers. Inhale right. Exhale left. Nice and long. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. And release. Now we're going to continue building on this pranayama breathing, where we will add a hold and a mudra. Mudra just means gesture. It's just a fancy word for gesture, right? You know, you see like these things people do with their fingers. They're called mudras, and they just have energy, right? So every mudra is different. That's more advanced. But the mudra we're going to do for this breathing exercise is called Vishnu Mudra. So with the right hand up, Put the pointer finger down and the middle finger down. Okay, so with the thumb and ring finger, we're going to alternatively block the nostril, right? Thumb blocks the right side, ring finger blocks the left side, and then when we hold, we'll pinch our nose shut, okay? All right, so breathe in normal. Both nostrils, breathe out normal. Both nostrils, block the right, inhale left. Use your ring finger to plug your nose, hold your breath, and bring your chin to your chest. Squeeze the belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the chin, exhale right, using your ring finger to block the left. Now inhale right. Again, try to use the throat so you don't worry about any of the boogies in there. Plug your nose and chin to chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently lift your chin, exhale left. Inhale left. And notice that we are holding at the top, the fullness. Hold, chin to chest. Gently release chin, exhale right. Inhale right. Hold the breath, chin to chest. Hold it. Release the chin, exhale left. And try one at your own pace. Start left, finish left. Go ahead. Don't forget to pinch the nose and to chin to chest. And release when you're done. Usually people like to sniff right afterwards. And so that's pranayama. There's lots of different kinds of pranayama that can be performed for different purposes. Alternate nostril breathing, the one I showed you, is really good to decompress and de-stress, right? What it does is basically oxygenates left and right hemispheres of your brain and uses left and right hemispheres of your brain, right? Balancing your energy and also the communication of the corpus callosum of your left and right hemispheres of the brain again. So we're done now talking about breathing. Do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting for me because I actually have to my left nostril. So I actually broke my nose back when I was a kid. So it's really hard actually to breathe out the left side of my nose. So it's kind of hard on some of those.
Yeah, it can be really challenging. Also, it can be challenging even when there's not an obstruction or deviated septum, just like the feeling of panic of trying to draw in 2 lungs worth of air through one nostril. Now, the firefighters practice something similar to this. They call it skip breathing. They'll inhale for a breath, hold for a breath, exhale for a breath, hold for a breath. So basically, this is a lung conditioning exercise. So it can be challenging in that regard. Now for you, since you're saying you have limited access to the left side, sometimes pretending is enough, right? You can just try for it, maybe leaving the right nostril a little open and just dragging the air in and just having the awareness on one side. Alternate nostril breathing could be performed without your hands. You would just use your awareness on the right side, on the left side. On the left side, the right side, it sounds silly, but it actually works. And so it can be really simple or really complex. Now, like I said, that's not the only one. There's another one I'll show you that is, it's called Kapalbhati, and it can be performed through the nose or the mouth, but we'll perform it through the mouth. So what you'll do is snap your belly in to exhale through your mouth and relax your belly to inhale. So basically your focus is on your abdominal wall and contracting it, like snapping it in. Like I often reference, you know when you get hit in the stomach and you're like, and it exhales the air? Similar to that, except we're doing it ourselves, so it will look like this. Right? So we're going to try it. So remember, keep the awareness in the belly. When you snap the belly in, air goes out, right? Oftentimes you want to do the opposite. And think about just relaxing the belly to inhale instead of actual breath phenomena and trying to inhale. What we're doing is we're moving the diaphragm, allowing the lungs to be passive, yeah? So just breathe in, breathe out. We'll do 10. Inhale halfway, exhaling through the mouth, snapping your belly in, begin. Inhale, exhale. So you see there's lots of different types of pranayama, and they're all designed really to build our energy. So prana, life energy, and your breath are like parallel paths, right? One can be, you use your breath to access the prana, but they are not the same thing, right? The breath in your body and the prana in your body are different systems. Does that make sense?
Sort of, yeah. I'm having a hard time doing because it seems like I want to do the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, was when you snap in, you want to, like we want to inhale, right? And that's very normal. And again, it's just a matter of practice because we are actually pretty bad at breathing, conscious breathing at least. So it does take time to develop that. So don't feel stressed out. And remember that it's a work in progress. Also, like if you're not actively thinking about it at the first, you'll just default into your own breathing patterns, which a lot of times can be exhaling through the mouth or just mouth breathing. Which, a note about mouth breathing. We want to avoid mouth breathing at all costs if we can, if that makes sense, unless you are doing fight or flight activities. For example, vigorous exercise, athletic sports, or literally running for your life. Otherwise, we want our body's nervous system to be relaxed, and we do that by breathing through the nose. So that's why we breathe through the nose in yoga, because we are already in stressful situations doing these stretches and holding these poses. So we try to stay calm. We use the breath to do it. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to talk about the position of the body. Position of the body, I'm sitting in what's called success in meditation. Now this requires some hip flexibility and ankle flexibility, right? Most people sit like this, crisscross, right? Or it looks more like this, okay? And that's fine. Now, sitting on the floor can be uncomfortable for people, and they'll walk into a yoga class, and the teacher will say, sit on your mats on the floor, and you're like, oh, man, how am I going to do this? Sometimes when you're not flexible, it'll look like this, yeah? And, like, you'll even, like, roll backwards. So we're going to work on that right now. First, I'll talk about some things you can do to accommodate lack of hip flexibility to be able to sit on the floor with a straight spine. That's what we're looking for, right? Not hunched forward, nice and straight, sits bones in contact with the floor, pelvic floor touching, nice and comfortable. So first one is use a pillow. You can always sit on a pillow, 2 pillows, 3 pillows. You can put a pillow under your butt, pillows under your knees. Right? This is no problem. You can do any of these things to keep the spine straight. Instead of a pillow, you can also use a block. Blocks are a little more firm and often higher. So see how there's room for my legs now? So if some people, they're like bigger in size or like have no hip flexibility, this can help. Because the sits bones are in contact with the earth, they're able to lift the chest up. Because you never want collapsed chest, collapsed diaphragm, right? Lift. Another variation is to sit against the wall. There's a wall here. So you can even have a pillow and sit against the wall. And so sitting here, sometimes you'll have to bend the knees like this, right? Maybe you could be here or wider, or maybe even moving the legs. So that's another variation, is just have the legs open. Have the legs a little bit open and allow yourself to sit on the floor. So we're gonna go further here by doing some hip stretches. So you'll wanna find yourself on the floor, and we're going to just simply start with a V-sit stretch, okay? So your legs are gonna be like a V, so I'll turn to the side. Legs are gonna be like a V, and you're just gonna fold forward. Reach through the heel bones. Practice your Ujjayi breath here. And notice where you're experiencing sensation. Are you feeling it in your hips? Do you feel it on the back of the legs? If your legs are bending, widen them more. If they don't go wider and they're bending, that's what you got. Maybe sit on a pillow, right? Sitting on a pillow while doing a leg stretch like this can help, yeah? So that's a good way to stretch. Now let's reach. Breathe here in, out. Try and relax. 3 more breaths. Remember to practice your Ujjayi technique. Focus on your throat. One more inhale. Deep exhale, pull the belly in, and then on your inhale, walk your hands back. All right, next we're gonna do is called Janu Sirsasana, which means head to knee. But it's like a basic runner stretch. So I'm gonna start with the right leg out and the left foot in. And the left foot has pressure against the right leg. Hips are tight, your knees will be high. You'll look kind of like this, right? Again, if you need to sit on a pillow to accomplish this, that's fine. We're kicking our leg out of our hip and gently folding forward. So however far you go, you can have a slight rounded spine or a straight spine. Eventually it won't even matter, right? Because your spine will be as straight as it can be. If you're able to reach your foot, that's awesome. Pull your toes back and press the back of your knee down to intensify this stretch. And notice where you're feeling it. So we're kicking the leg out of the hip, so you should feel it in the hip joint. You should feel it on the back of the leg. So let's take 3 breaths on this side. Practice your Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling, belly is in, keep it in. Exhaling, belly is in, keep it in. One more breath. Nice, exhale. And come up. Let's switch our legs the other way. So some of these postures, like for this one, some people do really wide, right? We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna have 90 degrees in the legs, so like a right angle. Turn towards your foot and have your hands on either side of the leg. This really helps walking it forward and finding your depth for 3 breaths again.
I think I'm more flexible on the right side.
Yeah, that's very normal to experience deeper flexibility on one side than the other. And that's how we start to learn about ourselves, right? Yoga is about self-discovery. So the first step is, oh, my right side's more flexible than my left. So then you start to think, is my left leg the one I balance on? Because the sturdy leg is usually the tighter leg. Is the right leg you kick with? The kicking leg is usually the more flexible leg. We also start to notice, well, what am I doing in my life? How is my gait, the walking gait? What do I do? Do I drive a lot? Do I bike a lot? What do I do? And then you start to notice the differences of your left and right side. Gently come up. Now we're gonna go butterfly, feet together, sole to sole. This one, people love it and hate it at the same time. Less flexible, you're gonna be like up here, right? Working the feet, knees down eventually. Again, if you need a pillow, go ahead and take the pillow. Pressing your feet together, creates expansiveness in the inner knees and stretching in your hips, right? So that's our leverage point. The more we press our feet in, the more the knees can go down, the more stretch in the hip. Now, once our knees are all the way down, we can start to intensify the stretch by leaning forward, okay? So, grab the feet, lift up, bring your chin to your chest and round. 5 breaths here. Stomach is in through your Ujjayi breaths. Breathing slowly. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears and really focus on your hips and on that stretching sensation. Don't escape it. Deep inhale. Exhale. Rounding one more deeper. Inhale. Roll your spine up to sitting. All right, now hands on the knees. Help the knees come together. Little windshield wipers. Okay, now we're gonna lay on our backs. So we're continuing with the stretches. So we lay on our backs. For a wind removing, bring the right knee to your chest and hug it in. So if that's too intense, you can hold under the knee, okay, or over the shin. Pull it down. Don't pull the knee to the floor. Just pull your knee to the chest and kick your left leg straight. Flex your left foot. Stomach is in. We're pressing the lower back to the floor as we breathe in and breathe out. All right, now we're gonna add a spine twist. So for this spine twist, your left hand's on the right knee. Roll to your left side. All the way to the left till the knee comes down. Now again, if this is too much, use a pillow or use a block or use both, okay? And then right arm comes out and your head turns over to the right. So feel the twist of the spine. It's okay if that knee lifts up. It's okay if your shoulder's not on the floor. Your chin is gently swiveled over your right shoulder. Stomach is in, and 4 breaths here. Slow, steady Ujjayi breath. Two more. Inhale. Usually this last exhale is when you go deeper, deeper, deeper. You're the most relaxed, and then inhale your knee back to center and extend the right leg long. Left knee lifts up. Hug your left knee in. Again, you can hold it under the knee or over the shin. Flex that right foot if it's lifting. If it's not, it can stay relaxed. If it's too rotated out, again, flex the toe. So this is flex, this is point. Just so you know, this is flex, this is point. We're flexing and holding and breathing 3 breaths. So you're just staying in this position and focusing on your breathing, and then you're doing the yoga. It's not anything more than that, but it's not anything less than that. One more inhale, one more exhale. Now on the exhale, the right hand comes to your left knee. You're gonna roll all the way to the right side. Again, if you need that pillow, use your pillow. And extend your left arm out. Breathe, 4 breaths here. Feel the twist of your spine. Notice where you feel it and stay relaxed. Two more breaths. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Inhale your knee back to center. Extend the leg long and both knees lift up. Lift your head and wrap your arms, then lower the head again. If this is happening, try to press your neck to the floor. Maybe loosen the grip a little, but we're not sitting comfy here. We want it to be nice and tight, so we pinch our hips. Remember, these are hip openers. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Deep exhale. We're going to release the knees and bring your feet flat to the mat. Hip width. Inhale. Press your palms down. Exhale. Curl the tailbone. Lift your hips for a bridge pose. This is a strengthening posture, but a spine opener for 3. Squeezing your knees. Heels pressed down. 2. Weights on the shoulders, not the neck. 1. Lower your hips. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Right ankle crossover left knee. Rock side to side, nice and easy. All right, press your right knee back. Already stretching the glutes and the hips, the piriformis. To go deeper, you're gonna thread your right hand and left hand under your left thigh, or maybe over the shin. So the act of pulling that knee closer to the chest will help increase the sensation of stretch. Also, pressing your right elbow into the right knee to keep that knee going back will deepen the stretch as well. So let's just take a few breaths here. Stay relaxed. Send your breath into your right hip. Two more breaths. Exhale, gently release and uncross. Now we're going to cross the left ankle over the right and gently rock side to side. All right, let's go deeper. Gently under the right hamstring or over the right shin. Again, you can press the elbow back and breathe here. If this is too intense, you're always welcome to come back to here. And if this is really hard for you, you should do this like 5 times a day when you're sitting at a desk. Just cross your ankle over your knee and press the knee down. We'll hold this for 3 more breaths and relax. Stay in your Ujjayi breath. And notice if you lost it. And at any point, you can always just start again. You notice it, you just start again. Don't make yourself bad. Don't make yourself wrong. You notice, try again. 1 more breath in. And 1 more breath out. Gently release the legs, and we're going to recline butterfly, so let your legs fall out. If you want to add stretching in the arms, you'll bring your arms overhead. So this is goddess pose. Inhale, 3. Pressing your low back to the floor. Stomach is in. 2. And 1. Hands on either sides of the knees. Bring your knees up. And little knee circles in one direction, massaging the lower back. And knee circles in the other direction. All right, now we're going to take Savasana pose. Savasana is the posture that people know the most, probably. It's corpse pose. Oh, Professor, good Savasana. All right, so just slide your heels to the bottom of the mat. Bring them a little closer, heels touching almost, toes fall out. Arms by your side, palms face up. Make sure your shoulders are down so they're not up, right? Nice long neck. And this is Savasana pose. So just take 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. All right, very good. Go ahead and roll yourself up. And let's see how the hip stretches helped. Right, so find Sukhasana, which is called easy pose or Indian style, or success in meditation, and just notice what it feels like right now after having performed hip stretches. Is it a little easier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're able to have a nice lifted chest. We want the spine to be straight because it's the main energy channel. And so when it's rounded like this, it's the energy is getting stuck where it's rounded, right? So here, it's getting stuck here for me. If I straighten, can flow. Okay, so we're done with that part, with the hip stretches. Do you have any questions? No questions? Okay. Before we move into meditation, I want to talk a little bit about yoga products and yoga props. So these are some of the most common questions I get. What props do I use? What do I need? Blah, blah. So I recommend for home practice having all of the things. As you can see here, I have a strap. I have a couple straps. It has a little loop-de-loop at the end. That's the one you want. It's more ideal. Some of them, like this one's a really fancy one, so it even has an elastic. So when I fold it, it'll stay together nicely, and it comes with that bag, right? So it's up to you what you want. You can literally use a towel. So you don't need specific straps, yeah? I just use them because I need them, right, for my teaching. But for yourself, you don't need it, especially a home practice. What else? Blocks. I have cork blocks and foam blocks. Here's a foam block. So foam blocks, very light. This is a 4-inch block. This is a 3-inch block, right? So one is bigger than the other. And that's where you get more height. So if you had trouble, for example, sitting, maybe a 4-inch block will help, right? And it'll help you there. Also, they can be used to place under your back or for loads of other things. Let's say you're sitting Indian style and your knees come up, blocks under your knees, right? That's another way to help you stay sitting upright and comfortable. Pillows at home, lots of pillows, blankets, right? And then finally, yoga mat. Now this yoga mat is a cork yoga mat that has foam. This is my home practice mat. My other home practice mat is this thick squishy one. Now, the thick squishy one I recommend for only home practice or like a meditation class, a yin class, which is a really low impact, very slow, long holds, mostly on the floor, right? And so then you would use a thicker mat, and that's fine. If you're doing a vinyasa class, I do not recommend a thick mat because balancing on it can be hard and they stretch. So as soon as you get into down dog, it's going to stretch and it just wears and tears the mat apart because it's not ideal. If you have sensitive knees, you can use both. You could use a mat, a regular mat, and the squishy one underneath if you're like at a studio that has hard floors or on your own hard floors. Now, what do I recommend for vinyasa or hot yoga? A regular mat's fine, right? The $20 mats they sell at Target or TJ Maxx or anywhere, you know, regular yoga mats, those are perfectly fine. Now, they are short. They tend to be short and narrow. So for more vigorous practice, a taller person, more advanced practice, I recommend a rubber mat. Rubber mats, however, can be pricey because rubber element is an expensive thing to buy since it's from a tree. So they have different varying thicknesses. The travel mats are really nice because they're very light, easy to take around, and you know you can just like put it behind your backpack and bike somewhere. You can like lay it down on the grass and water doesn't get through. So that's what I really love about rubber mats is you can clean them very easily, and if you put it down on wet grass, you're not going to get wet, and they are very long lasting, like very long lasting. Now they have a higher price point. They're about $100. So just expect to spend $100 on a rubber mat. Now, if you keep it for 10 years, then it's $10 a year. It's paid for itself, right? The other negative side of rubber mats is they smell like rubber. Think like new tires. They're going to smell like that until you use it out of that smell. So however long that takes for you, if you practice once a year and keep it in a bag the rest of the year, it's never going to lose its smell. You take it to hot yoga every day, it could be like, 6 months, and then it doesn't smell like rubber anymore. So it just depends on what you like. The thicker mats are heavier, but they're really good for like tall guys that are bigger because they will not move. They'll just like stick to the ground and they won't move. Now they are like heavy to carry around. So sometimes carrying the mat bothers people's shoulders and stuff, right? So it's really up to you what you want. A regular mat is good enough for me. And at home, I like the squishy mats. This is a cork mat, but I do have professional rubber mats for when I go to studios. So that's the question that I get the most. Yoga mats, right? What do I use? Squishy mat, not for vinyasa. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, the one I have is it's like a sort of a camping mat. I use it. It's probably like a quarter-inch maybe thick. So.
They go by millimeters generally. So like this one is like 3 millimeters. I think the bigger ones are 4 millimeters. Like the thick ones are 4, maybe 5 millimeters. And then the really thin travel mats that are like paper are like 1 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably have like a 3 millimeter one, 3 millimeters. That's like the normal one that I have, 3 millimeters. And then I have some other ones. Where are they? I don't know. They're over there somewhere, but they're like 3.5 millimeters, like the rubber ones that are like super thick. And then I use those for hot yoga as well. Oh, also towels. So there's yoga towels, and I recommend those because they go as long as your mat. They'll cover your entire mat. And if you're practicing in the sun and have a rubber mat, like that rubber mat becomes scorchingly hot. So if it's not covered by your towel, anywhere that's exposed is gonna just get really hot or really cold or whatever, You can use bath towels. They're perfectly fine. You'll need 2 to cover the entire length of the mat and be comfortable. But I mean, again, they're totally fine, if you use those. If you do have a consistent hot yoga practice, I recommend getting the yoga towels or a way mat, W-A-Y, We Are Yoga. They're just like these special mat towels that are all in one and it's really good for Bikram practice. So that's what I recommend. So if you don't have any questions, we'll move on to meditation.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Meditation. So the whole point of yoga is for us to be able to sit in a position and meditate, right? To quiet the body, to quiet the mind, and be able to focus on our breath and just being wherever we are. Now there's a lot of like stigmas around meditation, a lot of ideas of what we're supposed to be doing or how to do it right or this and that and the other, and just take all of those and throw those out the window. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what is meditation. So it's the goal of yoga, and the goal is to tone and strengthen the body so we can become flexible enough to sit in a mindful meditative position for a prolonged period of time. Meditation can be performed in the Sukhasana, but it's often performed in Savasana, the reclined corpse pose. Now, the first step of meditation is finding a comfortable position. So whatever that is for you today. So you can go ahead and find a seated position, or you can lay down right now. No problem. Just keep listening if you're laying down. So you could even be sitting in a chair. You could be laying down. You could be in a recliner. Anything is fine. Any position you like is good. The second thing is the regulation of the breath. Ideally, the Ujjayi breath that we practice during yoga, but maybe less effortful, more easy and relaxed. But it doesn't have to be Ujjayi breath. It should be through the nose, but sometimes we're breathing down into the belly. So you're going to be expanding the belly and relaxing the belly, right? Instead of keeping abdominal wall pulled in. You just want to be focused on the inhales and the exhales. So the first thing, comfortable position. Second thing, breathing through the nose. The third thing and the last part of meditation is stillness. Without the stillness, there is no possible way to meditate. In yin class, it says stillness of the body, stillness of the breath, stillness of the mind. You cannot get stillness of the mind without the first two stillnesses. And it says body first, but I say focus on breath first, second, before stillness of body, because you know, we really need to understand that it's really about the breath awareness more than anything else. But you have to resist the temptation to itch or scratch or adjust or fix your hair or put your hair behind your ear or adjust your clothing or the blanket or anything like that, okay? So those are the things about meditation. So remember that the resistance of temptation is the meditation itself, and you can set a time for however long you have that day, anywhere from 5 minutes to 35 minutes, and really anything from 3 breaths to 3 days is a good length of time for meditation. So just lower your bar, like lower the bar a lot. A little bit goes a long way. So what else is it? Be kind to yourself and be patient while you're developing your meditation skill, and be sure not to make yourself bad or wrong. It's very normal for us to let our mind wander. As soon as you notice it, just bring it back with the breath awareness, focusing inhales, exhales. You can even count 6 counts in, 6 counts out. You can be counting your breath repetitions. You can just be focused, inhale, exhale. Whatever it is that helps you come back into your body. Usually we notice that we meditate, and then we notice that we meditated, and then we ruin our own meditation that way, right? So less stress, less pressure, less expectations, okay? Now we're gonna find our comfortable position, and we're gonna practice our meditation to close this class. I'm going to be sitting up in Sukhasana. If you want to be laying down or sitting in a chair, totally fine to do that. We're just going to practice this for a few minutes. We will do 5 minutes, okay? Might feel like forever. It's not. Remember, keep trying. Don't label your meditation as good. Don't label your meditation as bad. They just are what they are. Allow yourself to create that space to be. Yeah? Right, I'll set the timer. We'll find a comfortable position. Breathe and relax. Close your eyes, focus on your breath. And begin to go inwards. Inhaling long. Maybe your belly and chest are expanding. Exhaling longer, belly and chest falling. Now we're going to do a guided meditation today, which sometimes can be easier because it gives you something to focus on, but it is not less or more than a silent meditation. So allow yourself to be present, focusing on your inhales long, expansive, exhales longer, contracting. Relax your face. Relax your head. Relax your neck and your shoulders, feeling the weight release, the tension release, and allow your exhales to be the vehicle that sends the tension away. Relax your neck, shoulders. Relax your arms, your hands. Maybe you're sending your breath to that body part to help it relax. all the while staying perfectly still, no physical movements that are unrelated to the breath. Relax your chest, your heart organ relaxed. Feel lightness in the center of your chest, like a puff of cloud. Relax the belly, the diaphragm, expansiveness on the inhale, relaxation on the exhale. Relax your whole back body. Feeling you sending your breath even to the back, expansiveness of the lungs in the back, expansiveness of the lungs on the sides of your body, and the diaphragm pushing down so the belly even pushes to the back body. And feel the relaxation when you exhale, finding the top of your inhale, finding the bottom of your exhales as you relax your hips. Relax the organs inside your hips. And do this any way that seems feasible to you in your own mind. So whatever works. Relax your legs, your feet, whole body relaxed. And I'll give you 1 minute of silent meditation. Take a deep inhale, a deep exhale. Gently flutter the eyes open. And we're going to close just with some ohms and hands in namaskar. So namaskar is the Sanskrit word for prayer hands, namaskar or namaskar. And namaste is what they say at the end of class. Now in Hindi, namaste means hello and goodbye. So it is a form of greeting to close the class. A lot of times they say, the light in me honors the light in you. I like to think of it as the light in me sees the light in you, and together we are one. So it's the recognition of the unison and the union, because after all, yoga means union. So we find the connection of our mind, our body, and spirit. And oftentimes yoga classes close with an Om. As you know, Om is the reverberation of the universe, the sound of the universe, the Sanskrit A-U-M. Om. A representing the beginning of time, U representing the middle, and the representing the end of time. Now the Om sound is also the vibration of our third eye and our crown, which are our higher chakras. So a lot of times people are just trying to activate their intuition, activate their higher self with this Om. Right, so we'll bring our hands to prayer at heart center, namaskar. And we're going to Om together. Don't be shy. I'm not a singer either. And we're going to try and hear each other across the hall. Yeah? So close the eyes. Inhale for Om. Om. bow your head to honor yourself. And we say to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.